Hello everybody, I hope you're all well and I'm so glad that you've joined me for today's practice. My name's Sammy and today we're going to move nice and slowly and gently. I went Christmas shopping yesterday and it's kind of was a little bit crazy, so I'm still feeling a little bit fatigued from that. So I thought with today's practice we could focus on slow, gentle movements, maybe holding some of those poses for a little bit longer. As always, honor your body and how it's showing up. Take breaks when you need them. Grab any props that will help support you during your practice and just give you that sense of comfort. We want to feel steady and easeful at the same time. So, nice and supported and settled, but also finding softness in the parts that don't need to be like working hard, okay? We really don't want to be working hard at all. We want to try and relax into this one, but you know what I mean. So if you're ready to go, let's begin. We're going to start with just getting a little bit mobile. For those that have been just in one position for a while, this might be a nice way to warm up the muscles and joints. So starting from the head, we're going to just gently nod the head up and down. Now I'm going to guide you with some breath work, but again, if it's not landing for you today, that's totally okay. Just breathe your own breath. We definitely don't want to be holding the breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to have the head forward and then just gentle side bends. Taking our time, noticing how our neck feels. And we can even do some side bends with our head. So just tipping the ear to the shoulder. You may even like to bring the hands down by your side. Now you can do this in a chair as well or standing up. You don't have to be sitting on a mat. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's get the shoulders warmed up. So we'll actually bring our hands in front. We'll do a few shoulder taps just to warm up the elbows. On the last one, we'll hold them there, draw the elbows together and out the back. And you can make these as big or as little as your shoulder needs and reverse when you're ready. Yes, it got a little bit crazy at shopping yesterday. We went really early in the morning and by the time we left, just after lunch, it was a lot busier. So I was glad to be out of there, but it was still fun. So just some gentle movements for the wrists, maybe give the fingers a little bit of a wiggle. You can even do these can feel nice. Get some movement for those wrists. Beautiful. So from here, let's introduce some movement for the torso. So we can just gently tip from one side to the other, making some extra space for those ribs. Beautiful, and then maybe a few turns and twists here, just softly, nothing too vicious, just gentle moves. Beautiful, and then from here we'll scoop out the belly and then open the chest. Beautiful. Nice. So from here, let's warm up the hips. So I'm going to come off my bolster. Oh, my poor Christmas lights need to have their battery changed. Looking a bit sad there. So just gentle rocks like windshield wipers when we are lying down, we do these. So we can do the same thing sitting up. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we can sit comfortably, propping up the bottom if you want to, if you're finding a little tightness in the lower back, and then just flexing and pointing the toes and the ankles, and then giving those ankles a little bit of a swirl, and then picking up a leg, doing a few bends of the knee, maybe some circles if that feels good, and the same on the other side. I've just come from walking my puppy, so I'm pretty warmed up from the waist down. All right, so let's begin. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees into tabletop. I'll come around this way actually, move my mat around a bit. Okay, so hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So if you find that your wrist gets a little bit uncomfortable like this, propping something underneath it like a towel or rolling up your mat under the heel of your hand to lift the wrist can really add comfort. Same with the knees. Pop anything under the knees to help cushion the knees to the floor. So from here, we're going to press through not only the palms, but also the fingertips of our hands. Lift the upper back so we're feeling nice and switched on, and just begin to notice the breath and how it's moving in and out of the body with all these muscles switched on, but also keeping soft in the face and the throat. Taking a couple more breaths here in our tabletop Bamanasana. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to follow me with the breath, on our next exhale, we're going to come into our cat pose. So we're going to hover here for a few breaths. So just gently rocking forward and back if that feels good. You may even like to loosen the elbows and swing the hips out the back and the sides. Make some circles with those hips. Lifting up that lower, middle and upper back. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to bring the heart through the upper arms, lift the tailbone and lift the gaze. And again, we can add any movement you like with this. So again, you might like to rock forward and back, maybe make those circles, and just notice how this feels coming into more extended spine as opposed to flexed spine if you're making movements through the hip. Beautiful. When you're ready, coming to stillness, and we're going to exhale back into our tabletop. From here, we can do some kind of hip wiggles to warm up the spine sideways, the side of the ribs. So we can exhale, kind of kick out our bottom to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, kick out the bottom to the right. Inhale to center. So we'll do one or two more on each side. Inhale. Exhale, you can have a look around towards your bottom, around the arm. One more each side. And exhale. Beautiful. From here, let's add a little bit of a rotation to our spine. We're going to pick up the right hand. And as we inhale, we can lift up the arm in the air. Or if you're feeling like I'm feeling a bit tight in the shoulder at the moment, so I'm going to pop my hand to my hip. And then exhale, we can tuck that right hand behind the left wrist. Take an extra breath or two here as we open up the shoulder blades. You may even like to lift your left hand up and bring it up above you or to your hip. And then when you're ready, we can do a couple more of these. You might even like to flow with these. Inhale up. Exhale to tuck and reach. Inhale up. And exhale to tuck and reach. And then coming back to your tabletop here, getting nice and settled, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, and we'll do the same to the left. So this one, I can feel a lot more movement on this side. So I'm going to extend my arm up and then exhale. Just take an extra breath here. Notice how this feels on this side, if it feels any different to the right side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, tuck and reach. One more of each. Nice and smooth and steady. And then hitting that pause button anytime that you want to spend a little longer in any of those positions. So from now, we're going to come down into a bit of a child's, or you can do puppy pose. So from here, if you're coming into child's, you can sit the hips back. You've got a couple of options for child's pose. You can keep the knees kind of in line with the hips, so your ribs are resting on your thighs, or you can take the knees out a bit wider, maybe as wide as the mat. Bring the big toes together and allow that belly to kind of nestle between your thighs. Okay. With the upper portion of our body, we can keep it active by stretching our arms out in front. So sort of like we're sending our tailbone out the back. Fingertips out the front, finding that length down the spine. You can rest your head on the floor or a block if you've got a block or a book or even a cushion. Or if you want a bit more of a passive child's pose, you can just let those elbows and forearms sink to the ground. Now, if you want to get a little bit more chest opening with this, we can come into our puppy pose. So the hips will stay a bit higher over the knees. We're going to walk the hands forward. So a little bit more of an openness through the armpits and chest. And again, you've got the option of being a bit more active and keeping the head off the ground and stretching those fingers forward, hips high. or allowing the forehead to rest, maybe sinking the chest a little deeper. So just listen to your body and do what feels good. We're going to spend about another 4 breaths here. Allow that exhale breath to soften your hips, your armpits, making any adjustments if you're feeling any discomfort. In our Uttanasana, which is puppy, or if you're in your child, you'll be in Balasana. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale, come on up. Walk the hands back. Now, we're going to come into camel pose, but we'll do it a little bit flowy, okay? From here, we want to make this a more of a opening, relaxed sort of Ustrasana or camel pose. So I'm going to, for me personally, I'm going to get rid of trying to catch my ankles with my hands, because for me that's a bit of work. I'm just going to go with the flow literally, okay? And I'm going to let my hands just land wherever they want to. But this is your practice and you do what feels good for you. So from here, we're going to take a nice big inhale in. We're going to send the right hand back. Keep those hips kind of in line with your knees or a little bit forward, and then just look wherever it feels comfortable, okay? So just smooth, steady breaths. Oh, I better bring the left arm down. Oh my goodness, I do need chilling. And then on your next inhale, we're going to start to float up. And then exhale, come back into a child's pose for a couple of breaths. And we're going to do this one again. See if I can remember the other arm this time. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to inhale, float up. Exhale, send the left hand back and then the right hand. Drawing the shoulder blades together down the spine. And just looking wherever feels comfortable. Keep those glutes and hamstrings switched on still, okay? So we've got this part of our body nice and active, drawing the shoulder blades together, but trying to keep our eyes and our cheeks and our face soft. And then let's sweep on over and come back into child's, or you can come into your puppy. Take an extra 2 or 3 breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, start to put the hands on the mat and gently push yourself up. So we're going to do a few things seated. Okay, I might even take a little bit of a drink here. There's no rush. Lovely. So from here, we'll take our legs nice and wide. We're going to flex those ankles so our toes are pointed up towards the ceiling, okay? And think about grounding the back of our legs into the mat, okay? So we don't want to push the back of the kneecaps too hard that they're overextending. We just want to feel a sense of groundedness with the back of the legs and that's about, and our seat. Obviously, we want to feel nice and grounded with our seat as well, those sit bones. So from here, we'll take a nice inhale in. So whether you've got your arms above your head or not is entirely up to you. Keep those legs nice and active. On the exhale, we're going to start to fold at these hip creases here and hold it halfway there. So just a little bit forward, thinking about drawing the shoulders away from the ears and nice open chest. And then on your next exhale, we're going to start to float the arms down if they're up in the air. And then just breathe your normal breath as we walk the fingers forward. And now we can allow that spine to soften, a bit of a soft curve. Keep that chest nice and open. You can tuck the chin in a little bit, as long as you've got some space in the front of your throat to breathe easy. Just focusing on smooth, steady, even breaths. And noticing how this feels for your legs, for your back. And at any time if you're feeling discomfort in either of those areas, just slowly pulling yourself out of the pose or coming into it, probably not as deep as before. Might have been just a little bit too far for today. Taking one more breath here. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, we're going to come up to halfway lift. So straighten the arms, long spine, and then exhale, come up into seated. Beautiful. Let's add a little bit of a side bend to here. So we're going to bend to the right first. Again, the arms optional. Inhale to find length through the side of our body, and then exhale, over we go. So just bending over enough that we're feeling lengthening from our hip to our armpit. You can put your gaze wherever it feels comfortable. And the hand that's on the leg, again, you can pop that wherever it feels good too. So still keeping those toes reaching up to the ceiling, legs active, and then feeling nice and grounded through that left sit bone. One more breath. Beautiful. On your next exhale, we're going to look towards our right big toe and then float on up and then come over. Inhale, find length in the body, and then exhale, coming over to the left hand side, grounding the right bottom cheek. And just noticing if this feels a little deeper or you're finding it's a bit more stiff on this side. I feel like I've got more movement on this side. Our bodies are kind of a bit weird like that. They're not the same on both sides. Taking a couple more breaths here. On your next exhale, when you're ready, we're going to look towards those left big toes. Sweep our body up into a nice, comfortable seated position. You can give your legs a little shimmy shake if you like before we add a rotation. Nice. So from here, I'm actually going to come into cactus arms for my rotation, so I get a little bit of core activation as well. But you can pop your hands wherever it feels comfortable. So taking a nice inhale in to lengthen the body. Exhale if you're coming into cactus like me. We're going to inhale again to find length, grounding the sit bones. Exhale, turn to the right. And I'm just going to hold it here for breaths. Now, if you find during your cactus your arms are getting a bit tired, just pop them down. It's entirely up to you. So we still want to make sure those legs stay active. We can soften our face, soften our throat. Taking 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. Inhale to find length in the body. Exhale, coming over to the left-hand side and doing exactly the same thing. Take about 5 breaths here, might be nice. Just noticing the breath moving in and out without any effort. One more breath. Beautiful. Inhale to find length in the body, and then exhale, coming to the front. Beautiful. Now I do want to add a little bit of extension for the spine for this one. So I'm going to actually bring my legs together because we've gone forward, we've gone sideways, and we've added a rotation for each side. So it's kind of nice to add a little bit of opening for the chest as well. So I'm coming off my bolster. My legs are together, and then from here, well, actually we're in Dandasana at the moment in staff pose, so a nice grounded position. We're going to roll the shoulders up towards the ears and then set them back and down, draw the shoulder blades together and pop the hands on the floor and think about reaching the chest up towards the ceiling. And again, just putting that gaze to wherever feels comfortable. Grounding those sit bones. You can move the hands in whatever position feels good. You can walk them a little bit more behind you or to the side. Taking a couple more breaths here, really reaching the heart forward and up. And then when you're ready, inhale to come up, roll the shoulders to the ears, and exhale to settle. Beautiful. So we're going to come onto the floor now and do a couple of lying poses, and then we'll come into Shavasana to finish. So from here, taking a bit of a bend in the knees, walk the hands down, nice and easy. Adjust ponytails. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into Setu Bandha Samaggasana, which is our bridge pose. So we'll plant the feet. Now, in terms of foot position here, You can go wherever you like. I probably suggest keeping them on the mat, so not going so wide that they're off the mat. But if your feet are a little wider than your hips, that's totally okay. Okay. So from here, let the arms relax, nice and grounded with our head, our shoulders along the length of our spine and our glutes, and of course our feet. Spread those toes. So just take a moment just to feel our body in this position. So we're going to roll the spine off the mat for this one. So on your next inhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis up, begin to lift the lower part of our back, the middle part of our back, and we'll be resting on our upper shoulders, okay? So we're pushing through those strong legs. Now, let's take a full breath here with our heart coming towards our chin, our legs, our glutes and hamstrings switched on. And then on our next exhale, start to melt the spine down to the mat, one vertebrae at a time, okay? So we'll take an extra breath at the bottom. So we're going to go nice and slow and steady. On our next inhale, roll the spine off the mat, one vertebrae at a time, pushing through those strong feet. We'll hold it at the top when we've reached a part where we feel comfortable. Take a breath. And then on your next exhale, roll the spine down like we're laying beads down on the table. Beautiful. We'll do one more. So take a full whole breath. And then when you're ready, inhale, begin to tilt the pelvis, roll the spine up inch by inch or centimeter by centimeter and hold it at the top. Keep those glutes and hamstrings switched on, but soften the throat, the face. And then on your next exhale, let's let that spine melt to the mat. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Nice. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to come into, we've got a couple of options. We can come into Ananda Balasana, which is happy baby, or you can just come into a nice little massage as well. So this is your practice. I'm just here to guide and support you. So if there's something other than these poses that you might want to do, okay. So for me, I'm going to grab hold of my toes. I'll start with my toes, get a little bit of adjustments here, and then coming into happy baby. Okay. Now, depending on how you're feeling in terms of tightness in the hips, you can hang on to the shins or to the feet. I'm actually feeling it's a bit of a challenge holding on to my toes today, so I might just hold on to my ankles. Now we can stay still with this, or we can tap into our inner baby and just let it go. So we can bend and straighten the legs, maybe add some rocking, or be still. It's up to you. This is your baby pose, happy baby pose. Okay, let's take another 2 or 3 breaths here just to enjoy this. It's actually quite nice with a bit of a rock and roll. Beautiful. So when you're ready, coming to stillness, bring the knees together, lower the feet down. And the last one we're doing is Matsyendrasana, which is our windshield wipers. So we can take the hands away from us a little bit, palms down. We're going to see if we can keep those shoulder blades grounded to the floor. And then from here, we'll tip the knees over. It doesn't matter which side you start with. I'm tipping towards the left here. Now, if you want to get maybe a little bit more intensity out of this rotation, we can look the opposite way. And just make any adjustments. Maybe you might like to be a little bit more on your left hips for this one. So just picking it up and turning over into your left hip. And just taking some time for those smooth, steady breaths. Just noticing how this feels for the body, for your mind, because we do want to settle the mind, especially if you've been busy over the Christmas period or leading up to the Christmas period. And then when you're ready, we're going to begin to lift the knees and do exactly the same one to the other side. So take both knees over to the right or whatever side you're up to, make any adjustments, and then grounding the shoulder blades to the floor. And then focusing on just breathing smoothly and softly. Allowing the right side of our body to melt into the mat. Beautiful. When you're ready, taking your time, gently lifting those knees off the floor. And we're coming into Shavasana. Okay, this is where we get to really reap the rewards of our practice. Yes, even the gentle practice. Because we do want to give ourselves a little bit of loving kindness when it comes to, it doesn't always have to be super busy all the time. It's okay to hit the pause switch and take some time out for ourselves. So we'll spend a couple of minutes in Shavasana. So for this one here, I'm actually going to put a bolster underneath my knees just to support them. And then just popping your hands into a position that feels good. Make a bit of adjustments here. All right, okay, so let's begin our Shavasana just with some smooth letting go breaths. So breathing in through the nose if it's not feeling too stuffy. And then gently sighing the breath out like you're trying to fog a mirror. And let it go. And then one more of these. Release the breath. And then falling into your comfortable breath, your natural breath. Giving yourself permission to let go. Letting go of trying. Allowing the whole of the back of your body to release and melt into the mat. Allow the exhale breath to release all the muscles and the joints in your body. Relaxing the front of your body into the back of your body. And just noticing the gentle rise and fall of the torso as you breathe in and out. Allowing the mind to settle and be still. And then when you're ready, gently begin to bring some movement back to your body. You may like to stretch out or wiggle hands, circles, ankles, toes, nose, whatever gets some movement back to your body. Maybe a deep breath, sigh it out. Okay, well, we're all done. Actually, I wonder how it would be if I actually finished the class lying down, which I'm going to do. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. I hope you feel super chilled like I do. And and anytime that you need to take time out during your day, allow yourself to do that, because we need to just be kind to ourselves and nourish our body when it needs it. which is all the time lately for me. Okay, so take care and I'll see you next time. Bye.